welcome to another paper crafting YouTuber hop. And this month the theme is something like I'm feeling witchy, and that's because it's October, and so I thought that would be a perfect opportunity to use some of the 12 by 12 papers, or a little bit of 12 by 12 paper from my collection I have been using a lot lately, called Simple Stories, Simple Vintage October 31st. It's got really super cute icons, lots of really like children's book kind of vintage feel, and then the classic Simple Stories just look, and then of course orange and black and everything for Halloween. So the funny part is that I've actually used most of it to make a 6x8 album. I really don't have a whole lot left. And I don't really do a lot of the spooky things as far as Halloween goes, and I also don't really have any Halloween photos, other than like my son dressed up as Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, or what's her name? Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's who it was one year. So not really very witchy and not really very spooky. So I'm working with what I have left over from after making my album, and it's not very much, but you'll see what I'm planning to do. I did take some inspiration from that. I didn't even realize I did this, but I saw this, and I love that they have the strips. You can't really tell, but it's actually stitched down with a zigzag in between all of those strips. They have the one photo, and then they layered some pieces on top of it. They used the black from the Solids kit. This is not even part of this whole kit, but the black from the Solids collection that goes along with it. So I used the Solids a lot when I was working on my album. So I'm going to do something like that with the strips. I have a little bit of my ephemera, my chipboard pieces, my enamel dots, my decorative brads, my title. I want to save a little bit of that to give you a surprise as to how I decided to kind of tweak the title a little bit to make it work better for me, since I'm not really a super spooky kind of person. So so here we go, and I'll be back in just a minute. I'm going to go stitch down these strips, and then we'll be back in just a second. And one more thing before I go stitch these down, I wanted to mention I did distress the edges, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of temporary sorry, not temporary, repositionable adhesive behind my strip. What happens is if you use anything like super strong, you can really gum up your needle when you're stitching, and that's not a desirable effect. So I'm just going to do a little bit of adhesive on the back. And look, this is even a branding strip. Save all those strips, because you never know when you're gonna need them or want to use them. I was looking at this, I was really surprised I did not have as much left over from this collection as I thought I would, other than like the large, just the big 12 by 12 papers. So I really thought I would have a lot more scraps, but I did not, which is good. It's good. So I'm just kind of layering these. I'm thinking my foot is going to go kind of in the middle, so I don't have to have they don't need to overlap or be too close together, although I don't necessarily want them to just hang out by themselves either. So I might take out some of the strips. I don't know yet, but I just wanted to mention that I'm just going to kind of tape them down a little bit, and then I'm just going to actually zigzag right through the middle for these guys. Oops, I don't want that one to be even. Intentionally not making them even. I think that's going to be it. I'm going to end with orange, because maybe one more, maybe the All right, I'll be back in a minute when I stitch these, after I stitch these down. Okay, so I stitched everything down. I used a zigzag on my sewing machine. I stitched right down the middle, and I just really quickly wanted to show you what I do with these thread tails. So you could hypothetically just leave them loose if you wanted to, but I am actually going to pull the threads to the back, so there's no extra thread tails. You just pull this back thread up, it will make a loop, and you pull that loop, and then that pulls your thread through. You can tie it in a knot here, or if you're kind of like me and you're just kind of lazy and you have a lot of threads to cut off, you can just put a piece of tape on the back. which is what I actually do even if I do tie it off, because I like to be extra secure. So I actually keep this little piece of this little roll of washi tape on an extra thread spool on my sewing machine, so I can just grab it, and then when I'm ready I will just pull this through. Now remember, whenever you're sewing on paper, wherever you're sewing, you're going to have, the more times you stop and start, the more threads you're going to have to cut and tape, or whatever you want to call it. So just remember, keep that in mind when you're working on projects. And yeah, so I'm going to speed this up so you don't have to watch me do this in real time, because it will take a minute, and then I'll be right back. So I saw a Facebook and Instagram post that somebody did using the same collection, and I noticed that the bats in her page had orange all around them, and I thought, well, how can I do that? At first I thought she actually, just look how this looks. At first I thought that she like maybe surrounded it with paper, like fussy cut it with orange paper or something, and you know, maybe she did. I didn't ask her, but I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know, I have this Spice Marmalade Distress ink, and I thought maybe I will just see if I can kind of give these bats a little bit of an orange glow with some Distress ink around the edges, and it does seem to be working. I really like how it looks. So yay for just kind of trying out something to see if it works. Here we go. All right, so I actually added a little bit of the banner sticker from the sticker sheet. It has like 2 frames in the middle, but I just actually cut those off, and then I cut off the little pins, clothespins that kind of stick up off the top there, because I didn't really need that in my embellishments. And then I inked the edges of my bats and my hearts. And now let me show you what my title is going to be. So on the sticker sheet, the foam sticker title sheet, there is the phrase "so wicked," and that does not describe me. I'm not wicked, so I'm going to use it like this. And I'm going to use the word "so," wicked, and some letter stickers to spell out the word "not." So wicked is going to go right here. And I think I'm just going to kind of float these above here. And then, good thing I am not worried about things being perfect. Just going to... my end does go this way though. The sticker sheet I had, the letters were kind of all in different... They're kind of all going different directions. So... So not wicked. You could also say "so wicked not," but that's like a funny thing from like what, the 90s. Okay, so I'm gonna stick my photo down and stick down my bats and my other ephemera pieces, some hearts, and then we'll be done. And I'm gonna call this layout good. I love how the bats are kind of flying off the photo or off the back. I think that's fun. And then I might end up throwing in some other embellishments here and there. I have the enamel dots I want to add. But I love how the distressed ink looks on that edges of those bats. Sometimes you have that white edging around your ephemera and you don't know how to get rid of it. So, all right, so here we go. I might just speed all this up, and then I'll come back at the end with some close-ups. Thank you so much. Don't forget to go check out all the other people hopping along today. It's going to be such a fun hop to see how everybody else is feeling witchy this first day of October. And I hope that this kind of kicks off your October and you have fun. And if you like what you see, please subscribe, like my photo, leave me a comment. I do love to read comments and talk back with people and you know, engage with people. So I would love it if you would do that and say hi. Thank you so much. Bye. Here is a way that you can use your trash that would be left over from your ephemera or your chipboard pieces and reuse it and use it in your work so that it doesn't get thrown in the trash can. How about if you take a piece, anything from the back of your chipboard, the negative part of your chipboard that you're not going to use because you would normally just throw that away because it's the outside edges, and stick it down on the back of your photos or embellishments to make them pop off the background so that you can have, you don't have to use foam. You can use this chipboard. You know it's already going to be acid free because all of the pieces on that paper are already acid free. So you know that it's going to be safe for your project and it will work just as well. So I hope that you like that tip. This is sort of my new obsession to do this because, I don't know, there's something about just being able to cut out the little pieces and glue and puzzle it together that's kind of fun.